he's there? Hi!
Yeah, no, he's been waiting.
Okay, well, as soon as he comes in, he's probably gonna get hugged.
Please don't touch me.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's fine. Just don't, please.
Okay, well, can I interview you?
Is that why I'm here?
If,
Yes.
if you're okay with it.
I suppose. What is it that you want to know?
Vampires. You reacted to them because you know stuff. I mean, what have you seen on Earth? Are there vampires?
You have to understand, I can't share a great deal of information about our operations on Earth, but I can share some.
I don't need to know about the operations. I just want to know how a vampire got from Earth to here and where she started from. So anything you can give me.
First, let me start off by saying I'm not exactly sure that it's the same thing that we're dealing with, so I'll just try to keep it as vague as I can. There are certain altered individuals on. I'm sure you're aware.
Little bit.
All right. Well, let's see where to begin. Not long ago, there was a group called the Knife. They carried out experiments, altered people, pushed them beyond their limits so that they could engage in warfare that normal humans couldn't. And they experimented on people that weren't always willing, myself included. I was part of a detachment that got captured by a Knife Party operative. I was held and experimented on, which is why I look like this today. While I was experimented on, there were certain things I would call vampire-esque, I would suppose.
And they could be modified more than normal people.
I believe that was the idea behind them, using some ancient biological samples that they had acquired from, well, somewhere. The Knife Party was able to adapt people in a similar way so that they could be cybernetically modified further than an average person could. Didn't have to worry about hormone balancers or even things like circulation, sometimes the need for oxygen. They were more or less, some of them, undead.
Nia is taking notes on her Moby as she listens to him, and then asks him, "So, were these like seed pods involved at all?"
I haven't really seen anything like seed pods.
It looked like a flesh bud that like grew into the skin.
Again, I don't know how much I can share, but something similar to that, I think.
Nia brightens up a little. So they've been using vampire techniques.
That would mean that there were like real vampires. I don't know if that's true.
She's nodding as if yeah.
Well, I'm not really sure, to be honest, about what the technology is that they were using. I kind of had to dedicate so much of my time to trying to reverse some of the things that they had done to me that I became a little bit of an expert for the Seven Nation Army, which is one of the reasons I'm here on this delegation, actually.
So you don't like the Knife Party, I would assume, either, and I'm sorry to hear about all the pain that they put you.
Oh, it's fine. I don't really feel pain anymore.
I mean, you probably still feel it somewhere, like in your...
I'm not sure I have one of those either anymore. I don't mean to sound, dark and spooky. Whatever they did to me, I don't know. It kind of deadened the part of me, I think. I'm glad to still be of service and I still have some kind of motivation, but it's not quite the same as it was.
Nia looks like she wants to comfort him by putting her hands on his shoulders, but like resists and puts them back behind her and says, "Well, like even Holland, like it had a soul, so I'm sure you're."
Holland, are you talking about the heavily modified individual that you all had a confrontation with?
She kind of looks over at Simone before she nods.
Can you tell me more about him?
Nia just looks over at Simone again and like
What do you want to know?
If I'm to follow the traces that were left by Miss Nova here on the social feed she was so generous to share, it seemed that he started out maybe not as bad as he ended up.
That would be mostly correct.
You are familiar with him, his history?
Yes, we were together once upon a time.
I see. Then maybe you could perhaps answer, did he own and this will sound rather macabre, a coffin?
If he did, it was definitely not an original purchase.
In your, I don't know what to call it quite exactly, adventures, a journey, maybe, did you or your group ever encounter a space that would act as a laboratory of any kind, or
Define that
St.
because
Judas.
Thank
uh,
Judas.
St. Judas, the hospital that got demolished? Well, not entirely.
well, there was also the research center in the aquarium.
The research facility in St. Judas. Well, the reason I ask for all this is one thing that has struck me is if this person was so heavily modified, who did the modifications?
Well, the House of Pain definitely sent Holland and their friends to Judas, so it had to be connected to.
Okay. There was one other thing, I guess. The actual leader of the vampires. Get any information about her?
I I was trying to.
She's from Earth.
Oh, from Earth. Did you get a name?
Alejandro.
Alejandra.
Or Germanetta. I guess she went by both?
Alejandro was her
Her
name.
her real name was was Alejandra.
Alejandra Germanata from Earth. He takes out his Moby and starts going.
She knew my teacher, so maybe somewhere in Europe.
Italy.
Ah, that would make
Italy.
sense.
What part?
I'm not sure. I only saw a room.
I think I've located it. I'm judging by the descriptions, histories, cross-referencing certain things that I'm sorry to say to you all are classified. I believe this woman was Alejandra Dice, a prisoner, or should have been. Puts his Moby back into his pocket. That individual probably shouldn't have been out.
You think? Really?
She got experimented on in there, didn't she?
I'm not at liberty to discuss that.
That means yes.
No, I'm not at liberty to discuss that. Honestly, in situations like this, jumping to conclusions like that can be quite dangerous. I would avoid such things. Officially and on the record, the Seven Nation Army does not experiment in the same manner that the Knife Party. I would appreciate it if there weren't any such rumors that would be passed around by our trusted allies here on the moon.
Well, clearly not, since they hurt you. So how do we track them all down? Like,
Who ran that prison?
Well, we had a warden, I believe, who was in charge of that, but that is also slightly above my pay grade. That prison in particular was run by certain individuals for certain reasons which are of no concern to me, officially and on the record. Nor could I give you its location.
Not like we could go there anyway, right now.
Off the record, you wouldn't want to.
I never said I did.
Nia has made a shifty look because she definitely would have wanted.
Roland just kind of looks at her and goes, no.
They're
No.
doing evil. I won't. We can't. There's no spaceship.
Well, did you have any other questions that you needed assistance with? I really should be on my way.
So you're saying you were experimented on? Was it this? Do you think it's the same tech they used to make the vampires? Because Machine Head is trying to deprogram them. If there's anything we can learn from you, how you kind of got back to normal, we could try and apply it to everybody. It's like a patch for software, right?
Based on what he's said so far, I wouldn't call what he is normal.
Yeah, but it's better than what they are now.
Is it? Let me ask him.
Well, I mean, I guess
Is it better?
yeah. I guess that really depends on the person.
What are they now?
Armless zombies.
Yeah.
Completely zombified. I could perhaps dedicate some time to figuring that one out, but I would have to say the only reason I was able to reverse some of the modifications performed on me is because they weren't completed. It sounds like those modifications have been. I may still be able to provide some insight, however, on how you could reverse the process. Can't make any promises.
That would be very, very helpful.
Yeah, I guess if you go to Nirvana, don't ask for Rizzagiza. He's way too intense.
No,
I guess
ask for
just ask him
Rizzagiza.
for Lewis Clark.
We're gonna need to take him ourselves. It's very clear they have bad blood, and if we don't take them ourselves, they will likely not let him in.
Or it will get violent. Isn't this one of the ones we were warned about? Are you one of the ones we were warned about? He just looks right at him.
No.
Okay, then.
But we can go there next if you have time available.
Actually, I was supposed to go meet with somebody, but this seems important. If we're able to cleanse this modification, we may be able to prove that it wasn't us. So I will need to contact another member of my team, and they may be required to come.
Is he one of the ones that we were warned about?
Yes. Or rather,
We just have to. We just have to be friendly. That's. He said, "Don't start trouble."
Be
I know it's
friendly,
kind of.
Roland.
I know. I know it's kind of our mo, but
Hmm.
let's try and keep it smooth.
Let me ask you something. Would introducing Rizagiza to a highly volatile soldier be a good idea?
Letting him meet anyone feels like a bad idea, but they keep him in the temple, so
We can warn them about it. All his guns are fake, and he's kind of silly.
he's kind of silly and his guns are fake.
yeah, that's putting it lightly. I don't know. I guess one or two of us could distract Rizagiza, and once we get, everybody else set off towards
Well,
curing the
I'm sure he'll listen to
vampires.
Lewis Clark. I'm not saying we don't contact Lewis Clark. I'm just saying we should handle this personally.
I'll deal with Rizagiza.
What's your idea of distraction?
Don't worry about it.
He was asking for people to enter the 36 chambers of drift.
36 chambers of what?
He said drift. I don't
yeah,
know what that means. Well, actually, no, that was that weird not stand thing he used, right? On you?
I'll go into the chamber.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a hell of a distraction.
Yes, I'll go
I'm
into
sure
the
he'd love
chamber.
that.
Please do.
Okay, so game plan. Roland is going to entertain Rizagiza with their obstacle course thing, and then we're going to fix vampirism. Sounds easy. This is great.
Somewhere in the distance where you guys can't see, far off camera, Rizagiza is lying in a simple bed, simple cot, eyes closed. His eyes crack open swiftly, and he throws off his single blanket to reveal he's just wearing all his clothes, and he just says quietly, "It's time." Meanwhile, here in the office, you see that Jahseh is calling some on his Moby. He holds up a finger and proceeds to speak. "Yeah, I think I have a lead. Yeah, one of you can escort me as well. Sure." Really? Roku? All right. He hangs up. They're sending one of the most dangerous members.
Why?
It's a matter of national security.
So don't hug it.
No, do not.
Okay, got it. Thumbs up.
I will warn you, however, he may ask for a hug.
But I shouldn't hug.
No.
Oh,
Why would he ask?
this is
for
gonna
a
be
hug?
difficult.
Roku is, he likes to, I don't know how quite to say it, provoke. As long as you ignore him, you'll be fine.
Yeah, we've been good about that.
It's good to hear. I'm encouraged. Unless that was sarcasm.
No, yeah, it definitely was. We've caused so much trouble for ourselves.
Oh dear.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, and you two just starts kind of drinking in between little sentences. Yeah, let's see how today's gonna go.
He'll be on his way shortly. I just need to speak with Halloween Jack before I...
Okay.
Right.
We'll meet you there.
Yes, that's fine. Yeah, I'll just ride over with Roku. He gives a brief nod. He actually turns and nods to each of you, one by...
When he gets to Nia, he gets finger guns.
Yeah, he gets you two just kind of like a flick of the wrist, kind of hey.
Farewell until then. He kind of weirdly... When he walks, you'll notice he kind of weirdly glides. It's very strange. He's not quite gliding. He just has a very smooth gait. It's just odd. It's like there's no friction for him or something, or he's just
He's
ghostly.
sliding around just like I do. That's awesome.
Yeah, kind of, except he doesn't have skates.
Except he doesn't have skates.